Are you ready to start living a more confident, successful, and safe life, regardless of what's going on in the world or what has happened in your past? Then you're at the right place at the right time. The FemVincible podcast, where we bring you content and guests to help you focus on moving forward as the powerful you that you were truly meant to be. So welcome to FemVincible. Hello, and welcome back, loyal viewers or listeners. Hey, and you, that new viewer, a big welcome to you too. In today's episode, I'm going to talk about something we shouldn't need to talk about. It sounds kind of weird, doesn't it? But it's important. There, I said it again, important, right off the bat. I said it and I said it weird. There's got to be a better word. Or I should just learn how to say it with D's instead of T's, like Americans do, as opposed to any other person that speaks English on the planet. Important. Anyway, it is important. So what I want to talk about today is that sometimes we over-explain things, don't we? Especially if we are survivors of traumatic events. And the reason that is, I won't go too deep into it, or otherwise this could be another hour-long event. We don't want to do that, right? I'm trying to practice keeping them a little bit shorter. But the reason a lot of survivors of violence or other trauma try to over-explain things is because it's a practice we've come into as a way to keep ourselves out of trouble, to make sure everybody understands fully, to make sure everybody knows where we're coming from so completely that there can be no mistake or confusion that we might be saying something bad, harsh, or untoward, right? So we over-explain things, and I'm guilty. I'll admit it. And here's kind of a funny little story. I'm building a new, it's a little mini video about FemVincible because, people still get confused about what it is when they hear about it. And they think it's a self-defense program or karate program or something. But many of you know it's so much more. But I thought, it just needs to be a little something I can send out, maybe with my emails, or a link that people can click on the website for a very short understanding or a very brief explanation and a very simple understanding of what FemVincible is and what it isn't. So I figured, okay, 3 minutes, right? Who doesn't have time to watch a 3-minute video? So I put a little slideshow together and I went through it saying what I thought was the least I needed to say for people to hear it. Now, I didn't do this scripted, I just had it in my head, some bullet points like I do when I'm doing this. And so I did it. I felt really good about it. I went back, I looked at the video, 18 minutes long. I only overshot by 15 minutes. Yep, I overdid it. I'll be redoing that video today. But so yeah, I just, have this desire to over-explain, and we all do that. Now, that is a problem for us, especially if we're being approached by a predator, a trafficker, the office weirdo, a jerk at a bar, and that desire to over-explain, it gives them a real benefit. And here's what it is. It's sort of like when you're in therapy or when you're talking to a counselor and they want you to open up. So what do? They don't ask you yes or no questions, right? If you've ever been a manager and had to do reports on people when you're talking to them, you don't ask yes or no questions unless it's like, did you steal the thing? Okay, I'm getting off track there. But what we learn to do is to ask open-ended questions and allow people to say all manner of things. And when a therapist does that, they're listening for connections to other things that need to be brought up or need to be addressed. When an abuser or a narcissist or a predator or a jerk, when they're doing it, they're wanting you to engage more and more because it gives them more ammunition to use against you. And that way, they have more ways or more opportunities to confuse you about your answer, to confuse you about what you really want, to confuse you about what's really going on. So the more they hear, the more they have to use. Now, the way to derail their plan is to just go ahead and know that an explanation for your answer of whatever they've asked you, that explanation doesn't need to happen. If your answer was no, it can sit at that, no. Now, what do they do with that? Hey, we're doing a little simulation here. Hey, can I buy you a drink? No. And then you turn back to your friend, right? Oh, wait a minute, why not? Well, now if you give an explanation of why not, you're giving them more reason to engage with you, more opportunities to stand there and continue bothering you, right? So it's okay. They say, hey, why not? It's okay to turn around and say, because I said no, and that's enough. And then turn back around. So it's really easy. Now there's nothing to work with. And of course, what a lot of guys will do, jerk guys, not nice guys, they will come back with, oh, you don't have to be so mean about it. And now what they're looking for is more chance to engage, right? Because if you're engaging with them and you're saying things, they can now use what you're saying to try to twist the situation to their benefit. But it's all right. It's okay. You don't have to give any reason. If you do give a reason, it can be very short and to the point, So, hey, you don't have to be so mean about it. Oh, I didn't mean to be mean. I meant to be clear. So thank you for your offer. I don't want it. And I hope by hearing this a third time, you'll know that I really don't want to connect with you. Thank you very much. Right? And then if there's a problem after that, it's okay to say, hey, bartender, this guy will not leave me alone. Hey, bouncer, this guy will not leave me alone. Hey, office manager, this guy will not leave me alone. I've repeatedly and gently asked him to leave me alone. Right? So you don't have to explain your no. That's about your consent to do something with you, for you, to you, around you, about you. No is enough all by itself. No explanation needed. Now you understand the name of this episode, right? So it's a very powerful thing. It derails their program. And really, you will learn that over and over again in any of the FemVincible courses, that what we want to do is derail a predator or an attacker's plan. Everybody has a plan, whether they've sat down and written it out in bullet points, or whether they just have it in their head. I'm going to go talk to this girl. I'm going to be really suave. I'm going to use my deeper voice. I'm going to get her to like me, have some drinks, dance, get a date. Maybe it's just in their head. And what we want to do is learn to derail those plans. And they really can be derailed in so many different places. Even if it's somebody that you're already in a relationship with and realize that they're not exactly who they said they were, or realize they're not as respectful of your thoughts, beliefs, boundaries, and wishes as they suggested. So yeah, that's important. It's important all the time. Your first boundary, your first power is your consent. And it's easy enough to just say no and to not explain it. It should be easy enough. Anybody that wants to push too much after just a no, but thank you, well, they're looking for a way in. So keep that in your head and let that be a little red flag. And if they keep pushing even more, it should be a bigger red flag, because that kind of attitude, that way of being, that way of treating you will continue if you continue your relationship, pushing your boundaries to see how much they can get by with. So, as a big point of self-worth and self-love and self-respect, make sure that your boundaries are yours, that your consent is yours, and it's for whatever reason you want it, not because it's something they talk you into or out of. So here's your homework. I want you to start practicing this week. Listen to yourself anywhere where you're being asked to do something or permission for something, and check and see, do you really need to explain it? I mean, sure, if the boss asks you why you, if you'll go ahead and take over this project and you say no and walk off, that might not be good for your job, right? So yeah, there are times when you do want to give an explanation, where you owe an explanation, what happened here, whether it's, your doctor asking you about something, or your boss asking you about something, or maybe a close friend who's really trying to help. So there are times an explanation is helpful, but a whole lot of times you need no explanation. No is enough. So listen to yourself this week and do this as a practice. And I hope that you will continue it even after this week. And listen to yourself when you're being asked, hey, do you want to dance? Hey, would you like to go out? Hey, would you like to run the birthday party? Hey, would you like to bring in some cookies? Hey, would you like to take over this program? Whatever it is. Listen to yourself and check yourself to see if you are giving away too much information that allows someone who doesn't have your best interest at heart to have the opportunity to get their mental claws into your conversation, to change your mind, to gaslight you, to try to adjust your thinking to the way they want you to think. All right. The more you recognize it, the more powerful you will become at stopping it before it even happens. Because you'll start to give an explanation and you go in your head, oh, wait, I don't know this guy. He's known to me. I owe him nothing. He doesn't get an explanation. All right. That's part of your power. Okay. That's it for this episode. I'm so happy that you are here. Thank you for coming back again and again to hear what I have to say. I'm already lining up some new guests for the year. And yes, I know it's already the beginning of February, but I do have quite a few guests already lined up, and we're going to be talking about some incredible things. So stay tuned and leave me a note. Let me know what you think about what you heard today and how it's helped you in the past, or maybe as you look into your past, how you wish you would have realized it in a different situation where somebody did get into your head because they got you to say too much. Okay. Hey, thanks for being here. I appreciate you as always, and I will see you next time on the FemVincible podcast. Take care. Bye-bye. This has been a production of LabCath LLC and FemVincible.com.